Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Murdered Soul Suspect for the PlayStation 4. This title was sent to me by Ecoplay Portugal so that I could give it a look, tell you guys my opinions on it. And this is a title that is actually something which is outside the box from what you usually get in these third-person games. Like, usually third-person games will go for the good old cover shooter. At least most of them will go for either cover shooter, hack and slash action, all that stuff. And Murdered Soul Suspect is doing none of those. Murdered Soul Suspect is a detective game where essentially you are a detective, but as you can see we look somewhat incorporeal. That is because we are dead. So you are a dead detective. As a matter of fact, this is you right here. You died. Poor little old you. Look at you, just a big old blood splatter on the floor. And essentially what you're doing is you're investigating your own murder, which is pretty much what the media surrounding this title has told people. So I would assume that anyone who is somewhat interested in the game already kind of knew that information, but I still thought I would relay that for anyone who has no idea what Murdered Soul Suspect is about. Now, in order for you to discover or even to investigate how your own murder took place, I mean, obviously you know how your own murder took place. You see a cinematic at the start of the game and all that, so you know how it took place, but essentially you're trying to capture the person who killed you. And there's a couple of important things in regards to the person who killed you, because I've already played a little bit further than this particular bit, but I don't really want to spoil any of the story elements, so I want to try and keep it as simple as possible. Now, as you can see here, we are currently investigating our own crime scene, and there's no time limit. You can spend as much as you would like to spend here, and you can do all kinds of different actions. Like, for instance, if you want to, you can possess anyone here, essentially, but when you possess them, you don't necessarily take control of them. You just kind of get to hear what their thoughts are. For instance, we can possess this cop, and we can then mind read him.
Stay calm. People need the cops to be calm now.
Usually, each person that is not necessarily relevant to your case has like two different lines of dialogues that they'll say. Like, for instance,
Ronan.
Here's another one. Ronan is your character. Now, you can jump possess to another person, you can mind read her, you can also mind read him, mind read her. It's like, whatever, but it's really pointless because neither of these people actually has anything of use to contribute to the murder. I already know this because I've already possessed them, and I've done this particular section of the game. Now, let's possess someone who actually is somewhat important, and we can now eavesdrop this conversation here.
Night, huh, Robinson?
Yeah.
Crazy. Ronan. Unbelievable.
I don't get it. What was he even doing here?
Asking for it. A witness called in saying he saw the bell killer enter a building. Ronan responds, disregards orders for backup. Next thing you know, the bell killer tried to see if he could make him sprout angel wings. And then bam, 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 bam.
Really,
7 to the chest. Point blank.
You really have no idea when to quit, do you, Baxter?
You ever take a look at those tattoos of his? All that gangland prison crap? He was more criminal than cop. Yeah, you live like a thief, you die like a thief.
He was still a badge, dickhead.
So that particular officer doesn't really like us all that much. But it does give us a clue, as you guys can see here. We can also influence certain persons to get additional information, but it did give us a clue, which you can then consult what different clues you've had access to. And currently, our only clue to this particular murder scene is what we came here to do, which is actually not told in the intro cinematic. But essentially, we were trying to come here to capture a killer who is being referred to as the Bell Killer. Now, that is clue number 1. You will notice that we have a total of 8 clues that we can find in this particular location. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the more obvious clues. Obviously, you can inspect stuff off the floor. Killed by my own bullets. Because essentially the criminal used our weapon and shot us, which is those orange markings that you see on our body. Those are the bullet wounds. He shot us 7 times with our own gun. all around the heart area, I must say. Or at least he was trying to get to the heart, I would assume. Or no, wait, that's the right side. Never mind. He was just trying to bleed us to death after he threw us off a window. So yeah, we can also inspect yourself. Overkill. There's another clue, which is beaten, thrown from a window, and shot to death. Whoever my killer is, he sure wanted me dead. My backup gun. A lot of good that did me. So these are all clues to the. These are all clues to your murder. There's one more clue that we can get off of here. The last cigarette. Finally, I can say I quit, sort of. I don't think there's anything else. So 5 out of 8. We can get 3 clues off of this guy, I think, because he's got like the little notepad there. You can take a peek at the notepad. Peeking through the eyes of the living allows you to further your investigation by selecting the most relevant information you can find. What did he find out about my killer? Get forensics to Lieutenant Rex. So here you have to select the most important piece of information. Only weapons found at the scene belong to Ronan. Now I think that what he found about his killer is that the killer didn't have any weapons. So this would be the most important piece of information. Now you guys might be wondering what would happen if you were to select the wrong information. Essentially, you get less score, because if you notice, oops, wrong button. If you notice there's those 3 badge symbols. That's kind of like your score on each of the clues. So if you make a mistake, which I will purposefully do now, so if you possess her, you now have to influence her. Actually, you should first you would be trying to possess the guard, and then you would mind read him, and he's trying to figure out how he can deal with her. To get some information out of her. So obviously you want her to give information to the officer because that would further benefit the solution of your case. So you want to influence her. Now influencing her will basically mean you will have to select the correct clue. Now I'm purposefully going to select the wrong clue so that you guys can see what happens. But notice that on the bottom of the screen you have the 3 badge symbol. So if I was to select cigarette, which matters for nothing, you're going to lose one of those badge symbols. Therefore you are essentially you're essentially not being as effective as you could have been. I'm not sure what happens if you lose all 3 of them, but I mean it's almost impossible to lose 3 of them in a row. You usually get the right thing at your 3rd attempt at the most. But anyways, the most important thing I believe is the fact that actually I don't remember if it's the fact of the bell killer or if it's my death. I think it might be the bell killer. Let's try that. Yep, it's the bell killer.
Yeah, I saw it. That man in the hood. Outside. Looking up at the top apartment on the 4th floor, I think.
Killer's destination. So now that we have all of these clues, there's one more clue that I somehow missed. It's probably the shattered glass, right? Yeah. I always mess up the shattered glass for whatever reason. Now you conclude the investigation, and by concluding the investigation, what you have to do is you have to align the events in a certain order to figure out.
My killer came here for a reason. But what was it? The apartment up there must have some clues. Except that's my way in, and it's closed. Fantastic. Well, here's my chance. I just need to follow Stewart into the building.
Okay, so as a ghost, you are able to go through certain walls and certain things. However, there's a couple of rules that you can't break, such as certain doors you can't enter because the people of Salem, which is where this whole story takes place, the people of Salem performed some kind of those doors are sacred or whatever. I don't know, but essentially you're not able to open some doors to kind of keep things interesting. Let's just put it at that. Now we're going to be able to enter the apartments, which is going to lead us to a different kind of gameplay here.
Hey Sarge, 1019. Please return to the scene.
10-4.
Yes, there was a demon behind that door. Yes, there are monsters in this game. Well, not really monsters, but demons.
Oh, it's just you. I knew I heard something.
And those demons, essentially, you will have to hide from them. However, you have this kind of like demon vision, which is if you press R1... Oh, actually, I guess they haven't unlocked that for me just yet. Because the game gradually introduces new mechanics to you. Like, at this point, I don't even think they told you that you could run, but you can, using L2. Now, once you're inside a building, you can go through most doors on the inside. As a matter of fact, if you notice here, this usually means that you can go through this wall. So you can now just walk around and move through the building. Now, you're also going to be encountering other dead people, like this guy. He's also dead, obviously.
Hey.
Shit. You trying to give me another heart attack?
No, I just...
It was rhetorical, for God's sake. Come on, don't look so lost. Take a look around or something. You know, spy a little. It's not like anyone's gonna stop you.
Well, he's definitely looking at things from a positive angle. But you will not only meet dead people, you will also meet live people, like these two. This cute, lovable little couple, they couldn't have possibly done anything wrong, could they? Could they? Well, let's do a little bit of a side quest here, shall we? So you can go through the entire building except exit it. Like, this would be the end of the building. This would be on one of the main walls that would lead to the outside. You actually can't exit, so you have to keep going through here. Now, your objective right now, your main story objective, is to go to the 4th floor. So you would obviously want to go in this direction. You'll also see those strange apparitions like the one you see at the top of the stairs from time to time. Those really don't mean anything. Something else that you will find is you will find multiple collectibles. Tons of collectibles. And as you find these collectibles, sometimes you will find information regarding your character. Other times you will find information regarding the case. Other times you will find information regarding Salem. There is tons and tons of information. As a matter of fact, you will also find memories of your, actually memories of you as you were living, and memories of your wife, who is actually dead, by the way. That is all revealed very early on in the game. Don't worry, like I said, I don't like having spoilers in my title, so you guys don't have to fear for that. Now, every now and then you will also find these things, which they will shake as you approach them, and you can press R2 to reveal them, and then you can collect them. Now, this is a different kind of collectible. These are collectibles that unlock stories. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to unlock the entire Watery Grave story in this video, but I will definitely try. Now, we can't move this way, so let's move through here. And here's another piece of the Watery Grave story. Let's reveal that, collect it. And here's another dead person. Now, this particular dead person is going to give us a side quest.
If I can just find it, then at least I'll know what happened.
You look lost.
What's lost is my body. I know I got killed right here, and I know it sounds crazy, but I'd feel a lot better if I knew where my body was. Are you a detective or something? You might be my only hope.
Yeah, I'm a detective. Any idea who did it? That might lead us to your body.
I know they were old people, and I know they lived in this apartment building. Other than that, everything is hazy. But I was doing a lot of drugs at the time.
Sounds like you do need a detective. I'll see what I can find out from any older residents of the building.
How many older people have you guys seen in this particular building? But they looked like such a nice couple, didn't they? They couldn't possibly have killed anyone. Now, if we go through here, I'm not exactly sure what these markings are on the floor, but they seem to kind of like indicate that you're in the right path. You can't, I haven't actually gotten to a point where I can interact with those. Anyways, through here, this is the old couple, the cute old couple. For starters, what's this? A note. What is this note about? Their neighbor left town in a hurry. Maybe they had something to do with it. Maybe that's something, maybe it's nothing. Sometimes some of the clues that you get are completely pointless. I mean, they're clues, but they're not that relevant to the case. Like, when we were downstairs, the cigarette, probably the most relevant thing to the whole case. I mean, cigarette was in my mouth when I was thrown off the window. Well, not me, but the character. Cigarette was in his mouth when he was thrown off the window, and obviously it fell off. There's nothing all that relevant to the case, but it's still there. It's still evidence. Now, This could be important or not. What is this? A shovel? Some bolt cutters? Gardening tools. Shovels, gloves, fertilizer, hobby, or homicide? My. Wonder if I can poltergeist this TV, by the way. No, they didn't unlock poltergeist yet. Evil. But basically, it's, in some TVs, you're able to come close to the TV and activate this thing that makes the TV like flicker. It's pretty cool. You're like this ghost haunting people and stuff. So let's go through here. What's this? Break-in at a quarry. Kids are always breaking into the quarry. Why take such interest in this one? What could this possibly all mean? As you continue to investigate, you can now also possess any of them and figure out what they're thinking about. So, mind read.
If I stopped bringing him snacks, he might look around the room to see if I was still here.
Now, obviously, we don't really want to mind read about her opinion on her husband, so let's go ahead and influence her opinion a little bit. Mysterious murder. Here you go.
Finally, some peace and quiet. All her parties. How can anyone sleep through music blasting like that? I think she was on drugs. Walter was so tired he could barely stay awake for the 5 miles it took to drive to Smithwick Quarry. I couldn't believe he was able to find a pair of lock cutters that late at night. At least the music has stopped. Now we can finally sleep.
But they're such a cute old couple. Looks like the old man had something to do with the girl's murder, but why drive all the way to Smithwick Quarry?
Look at that poor excuse for a man. Won't even get out
Doesn't
of
look
his
like we're
chair.
going to be getting any more
Likes a
information
chair.
out of her, so we can probably dispossess her and move on to the husband. We found 4 out of 5 clues. We're probably going to find the 5th clue by possessing the husband. We can influence him. Should we influence him with what? With the mysterious murder? Yeah, why
That girl collapsed like paper when Grace hit her. I still can't believe she died. It happened so fast. I've never seen Grace so crazy before. It must have been the lack of sleep. Thank God it's all over. I can finally watch TV in peace.
All the old man wanted to do was watch TV in peace. Is that so wrong? Apparently, his wife has a bit of a temper. If she murdered that girl, where's the body? Obviously, it's at the quarry. So we've got all 5 out of 5 clues for this particular case, so let's find the answer. What happened to the murdered girl's body? Conclude investigation. While you can attempt to answer your primary question at any time, through thorough exploration of the entire scene is often necessary. So what happened to the murdered girl's body? Well, for starters, wait, do I have to just select one? I think I might have to just select one for this one. So, newspaper clipping. It went to the quarry. No! Need to know the order of events that led to her death. Yeah, this is one of the mechanics that I sometimes find somewhat confusing. So obviously the order of events was she slapped the shit out of her after she slapped the crap out of her. The reason why it's wiggling like this is because it's actually using the 6-axis, which you can use to select the different things as opposed to actually using the cursor. But me personally, I prefer using the good old analog sticks, much more reliable. So then we go to the old man's secret, because he basically drove her to the quarry. Then we use the gardening tools. Oh, what? What the hell? Note from a neighbor. That can't be it. Mysterious murder?
Huh. Looks like Grace couldn't take the girls partying anymore, so she killed her and roped her husband into helping dump the body at Smithwick Quarry. I should get back and let her know. Turns out, the reason you can't find your body is because it's not in the building. It's at Smithwick Quarry, about 5 miles out of town.
Oh. Well, why'd they do it?
Your parties were keeping them awake at night. They finally got too tired and snapped.
I thought they were just being unreasonable. I didn't know they would do this. Thanks for your help. You have no idea how big a relief it is just knowing.
No problem.
You know, I never really liked cops. They were always giving me shit, telling me how I was messing up my life. We never saw eye to eye on things. But you really came through for me. Probably should have listened to what they were trying to tell me. Maybe then things wouldn't have ended up like this. Thanks again.
And we've solved the side quest. So this is kind of how side quests work. I mean, usually they might be a little bit more complex than this. This is the first one, so it's fairly simpler. So let's move on to the next floor. Before we do, there's a little bit more of the Watery grave thing here. Let's move onwards.
Hey, how the hell did it come back? Did I do that? Hey, come back!
Those notes aren't for you.
Great. Looks like some sort of code or something. Alright, well, I made it up to the 4th floor before the police cart away the evidence.
So this little girl is the little girl that kind of introduces you to the world of the dead. She tells you that you're dead and that you can somehow influence some of the events here and that you need to solve your own murder in order for you to proceed. Because basically you're stuck here, and to be honest, the whole fact that you're stuck here with unfinished business, the only thing it really reminded me of was the Casper story. You know, the little ghost. I don't know. But let's continue through here. These things that you see here are some residual spirit energy that you can actually hide yourself in. That particular function hasn't really been unlocked just yet, but it will pretty soon. I'm actually curious about talking with this guy.
Hey, you enjoy scaring kids?
This little girl cost me everything. It was supposed to be a simple job. Easy money.
What do you mean? She's just a kid.
It don't matter what she is. Her daddy owed too much to the wrong people. She was just an insurance policy.
Is that where you come in?
A simple snatch and grab. After everything was settled up, I'd let her go.
I'm guessing it wasn't so simple.
That may be, but she owes me now, and I ain't leaving till her debt is paid.
Cut your losses. It may be a while.
Don't worry. I can wait.
Oh wow, I hadn't talked to this guy because of something that's going to happen in a couple of seconds here, but it's interesting that he is just like haunting this little girl who happens to be in bed here, I'm assuming. He's haunting her. Oh, what's this? Can I interact with her somehow? Oh, it doesn't seem like it. But it's interesting that he is haunting this little girl because he was supposed to... What the hell is this? I can feel the controller vibrate when I go through some of the things here. Yeah, it's the little girl. Whenever I go through the little girl, the controller vibrates. Interesting. But, yeah. This guy is haunting a little girl. Terrible bastard. Here's the bathroom. I'm just looking around for some clues for the Watery grave thing, because I don't remember where all the pieces are for the Watery grave. But I wanted to make sure that I tried to get as much of the Watery grave made as possible. Oh, here's some more of the Watery grave. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here. Probably it's going to be on the other floors. Which way should we go now? Okay, this is the main. So let's try going for the 3rd floor, because I don't think there's a whole lot to do in the 2nd floor. At least I don't remember it. You could possess them. You could find out if they're confident, if they're not confident, what their thoughts are on the people that they're playing against. It's actually pretty interesting. Until you meet up with a demon. little things, demons, aren't they? If demons find you, they will hunt you down and suck your soul. Ooh, terrible little things you are. Escape from demons. The residue of ghost souls hides your presence from demons. So you can hide here, and then you can actually jump, because you can hide between objects to avoid demons. So you can jump over here, then from here you can jump over here, from here you jump over here. And the demon's going to chase you down until it actually gets tired and it's going to run away. So when you when you find yourself with demons, usually stealth is the approach. So you want to be stealthy, and that is why these things are here. Not only do they enable you to move really fast, they also enable you to dodge the demons. Now, there is something which is what I told you guys about at the start of this video, which is the demon vision, which is you press R1, there's your demon, and there is also where he is looking. He's looking forward right now, which happens to be away from us, which means we can easily sneak up on him and execute him. And there you go, we've exorcised the demon. It's basically a very simple quick time event. Usually involves you flicking the left analog stick in some direction and then pressing one of the faceplate buttons. This is a mechanic that you're going to have to do whenever you meet demons, or you can just avoid them entirely. There are other mechanics in place, such as distractions, which enable you to draw attention away from yourself, although currently in this level you don't have those, but other levels further on... Oh, did the demons see me? No. They couldn't have seen me. They're just spazzing out for some reason. Hey, Mr. Demon. How you doing? Let me exercise you real fast. There you go. Oh, next one's about to come. Run away. You can actually just go through here. And then go to your demon vision. Wait until he turns around. And we should be able to get another exorcism going once he goes past this spot. Boop. So it's fairly easy to get rid of demons, so usually what I tend to do is whenever I'm at a location that has demons, I just get rid of them entirely. Now here we have a little bit more of the Watery grave. There's a couple of interesting lore, not lore, but a couple of interesting, I think it's would be lore, I don't know. There's an interesting number of side things that you can do, like you could listen in on the conversation on those guys, figure out what they're talking about. You can talk to this guy. You can poltergeist this TV, which in this case actually doesn't do much, but you can usually use poltergeist things to draw the attention of people. You guys might be wondering why that might be useful, but sometimes you will need to draw attention of people to get certain objectives of yours accomplished. Now let's get some of these collectibles. Julia's thoughts. Like I said, you will be getting information on your past life, not your past life, well, it is kind of your past life because you're dead, and your wife and your relationship and all that stuff. Like, for instance, this is a thought of your wife. Every time Ronan says Lillian, I don't know if he's talking about his mother or his gun. It complicates things that the gun was a gift from his mother, and then he named it after her. Normal couples don't deal with stuff like this. Yeah, about that. You can also possess her, see what's troubling her, but I do believe that there is one more piece of the Watery grave here, which I would very much like to get so that you guys could see. You can also see how other ghosts died. I'm going to leave you guys just with a visual here, not really going to dialogue every single ghost that we find, but as you can see, there's a radio in the bathtub, and there's a razor blade there, so either he slashed his wrists, or he died of electrocution. Or maybe even both. Maybe he was just trying to make doubly sure that he was going to die. But yeah, you can interrogate him, figure out how he died. It's just, again, flavor. Additional flavor to the game. Which, I find really cool. Because, I mean, you don't get a lot of games like this. It's not necessarily the type of game that I would go crazy about playing. Because it's not really my style of game. If I'm being completely honest, you guys know that I'm more of an RPG type of guy. And the fact of the matter is, though, that there is a title like this, with this amount of graphical detail, animation, cool-looking cinematics. It's a very well-polished detective title. And I really respect that, because it's something that it's almost like a breath of fresh air, you know? At least that's the way I personally feel about it. The game also runs fine, by the way, on PlayStation 4, in case you guys are wondering. I say PlayStation 4 because it's the copy that I have. This should take us upwards to the 4th floor, where we get to perform a little bit more of investigation, and then I'm going to call it a video.
Distance from the scene here.
So once again, you can possess all of these people. As a matter of fact, I possessed all of them previously just to kind of get an idea of what was going on. We also have a little bit more of the watery grave here. Need one more to uncover the story, and I'm hoping that that last bit is here.
Hey, Broyles, you seen that little girl that lives here? If she turns up, you come find me. Got it?
Baxter is looking for the girl. So we got a bunch more of clues in this particular scene, and this is essentially the place where we got murdered, so we're gonna have to do some beastly investigating here.
Damn it. My mom gave me that gun. What was the killer doing here in the first place? What did I miss?
Okay, so we need to go ahead and find some more clues. We can collect some more stuff.
I don't know how this will end. The killer is an enigma to the police and a lurking shadow in my own life. If only I can keep Joy from harm, I would do anything, even push her away, if it meant pushing her to safety.
Concern for Joy's safety. Then there is the missing persons status request. So she worked for Salem PD as a psychic consultant, the person who lived here. Here we have some more shattered glass. What else we got here? Oh, is this the font? No, this is not the... Damn it. I didn't want it to reveal this one just yet. Because I wanted to find another piece of the boilerplate. Is that it? Yes, that's what we're looking for. And collect. There we go. Now that you've completed one of the side stories, you can actually see the story yourself, which is pretty cool. You can just have this flashback that tells you the entire story of what happened in regards to this watery grave incident.
I still remember seeing the ad for the Regal Apartments in the paper. It's easy for people to look at it and see a dingy, run-down shithole. But me? I saw a place with history and character. I saw a place full of artistic inspiration. Before I knew it, I was the official tenant of apartment 3A. Looking back on it, I wish I had never even unpacked. My new apartment turned out to have more character than I had anticipated. The carpets were occasionally soggy, the pipes were rusty, and I could hear the tenant below me banging against the walls and screaming at the top of his lungs. Sure, there were other problems with the place, but they just added to its charm. They were things I could live with. What I couldn't live with was showering in brown water, mysterious leaks molding the carpet, and obnoxious neighbors. I called the plumber, who arrived just as I was about to have a word with the people downstairs. When I showed him the wet spots on the carpet, he scratched his head and explained that nothing was leaking, and that the reason for the wet spots was most likely due to me spilling something and not realizing it. Did this guy take me for an idiot? I never spilled a thing. He apologized and said that without a leak, there's nothing he could do, so he moved on to the shower. Thankfully, the water had no trouble turning brown. He thought it could be an issue with a rusty boiler and went to check it out. I took the opportunity to address the tenants below. I knocked on the door, but no one answered. In fact, I couldn't hear anything at all. I tried the door, expecting it to be locked, but it just swung open. I was shocked to find it completely empty. That's when wet footprints began to appear on the floor. They were headed right for me. Just then I could hear the plumber scream from the boiler room downstairs. By the time I ran down there, he was long gone, but he had discovered the source of the brown water. Packed into the old, rusty boiler was a bloated, decomposing corpse. The police are still investigating the homicide, and the landlord has promised to renovate the boiler room. However, despite his efforts, 3A is back on the market, and I doubt I'll ever feel clean again.
So that is the story of the Watery grave that I wanted to show you guys. This is one of the side stories of the game, and I thought that story was pretty interesting. It's got a lot of character. The writing in the game, I feel, is really, really solid. The gameplay aspect of it also seems to be mechanically sound. I mean, I haven't played a lot of titles like this, so it's very hard for me to actually formulate an opinion on it. But the one thing that I see that could be a downside to this particular title is the fact that the experience is essentially linear. Sure, you can find the answers with less clues, and that could be a way to vary the gameplay a little bit. But essentially, at the end of the day, when you find your answer, the story is going to progress in the same way every time. The difference being is whether or not you've done some of the side quests, you've immersed yourself into the game, figured out the backstory to the main character, his wife, and all that, or not. And this all depends on whether or not you like it. Now, in terms of graphics, as I was saying, I think the game looks pretty damn good. I think it's running at 1080p. It varies. Mostly seems to be running above 30, and I would say in the realms of 40, 50, even 60 in some points, but not constant 60 frames per second. I mean, the animations are really good. The main issue in here is that some of the cinematics are actually pre-rendered cutscenes, which look worse than the in-game engine of the game, which is kind of weird. But let's reveal some more information here. You can reveal the residue of memories and print it in this realm. Oh yeah, the other thing, the voice acting. The voice acting is solid. I mean, it is pretty damn good, at least in my personal opinion. So now we can analyze the details of this particular memory. What was the killer doing? So if you look at how the killer is observing this particular scene, I actually think I've figured out every single one of these sections on the first try. But anyways, if you look at it, he's obviously searching for something. And he is not just randomly searching, he is purposefully searching, because you can see that he's pretty relaxed. He's not in panic, he's just like purposefully searching for something. There's another flashback, that's another clue. And here was another clue. Was it here? No, I guess it wasn't here. There is a clue here, though, which is the backpack, or the... not really backpack, satchel, whatever the hell you want to call that thing. Purse. We've got some scribblings here. Again, not all of the clues are relevant. I'm just picking them all up for the sake of completionism. But not all of the clues that you see here are relevant to the case. Was she hiding in the bathroom? No, she was probably hiding someplace else. Let's go here. It's a little bit disorienting the first times that you guys start going through walls all over the place. You're like, what the hell? So where are my boundaries? How do I play this game even? It is somewhat disconcerting at the start, but you kind of get used to it. Let's inspect the book. Spirits, book about ghosts. Because obviously it can't just be about you investigating a murder. There's got to be some more to it, which I believe there is, although I haven't really experienced that much of the story. But what I did experience is pretty damn cool so far. Now we can analyze the details of the girl here. What is she doing? She is obviously hiding, and she seems to be frightened. So hiding, frightening, watching. And that's when your character comes in, because if you guys noticed the person that was showing up, as a matter of fact, we can recall that flashback. You can recall flashbacks at any point in time, but if you notice the person showing up behind the killer, that is your character. I think you guys are actually going to be able to see the scene of the murder when I find the answer to this, but there's a couple of more clues that we can get. We can possess this guy. And mind read.
We gotta find these tenants, if they're still alive.
Wait. We have to check out these clues here. I know that there's a way to check out these clues, but maybe we have to find the answer first. Well, very well. When you get to the point where you can't find any more clues, you're basically forced to try and find an answer with what you've got. So, you press triangle. Why was the killer here? The killer was searching for stuff. And while he was searching for things, we interrupted him. No. Damn it. Could he have been searching? I don't think he was searching for the girl, was he? Oh, it is. Maybe he was searching for the girl after all.
Turn around. You're under arrest. So that's what I walked in on. Was he after the girl? Where'd she go?
So that is actually going to be it for this video, because I don't want to reveal any more of the story than this, because, I mean, even revealing this, I feel that might have been a little bit overkill, because this game is going to live or die on its story, and I feel that the story is incredibly solid. I mean, up until this point, I've been really enjoying the story, and it seems to get even better when you start piecing together the bits and pieces of his own life with his wife, because it just gets interesting, and there's a lot of detail to the title, like a lot of side quests, a lot of background story to the world that the game takes place in, a lot of interaction with other ghosts, and other of the side stories like the Watery grave and stuff like that, side quests where you figure out how other people die. And it's interesting. It's really interesting, and it's different. It is something very different. There's a ton of people always saying, oh man, I really wish that they would do something different than your standard Call of Duty shooter and all that stuff. This is one of those titles, and if you like the gameplay that you've seen up until this point, to be honest, I don't think you can go wrong. It is a detective story. The one thing is, like I told you, it is a linear story, but your level of involvement is dictated by how interested you are in the world itself. So, if you enjoyed the gameplay, more than likely you're going to enjoy the game. If you did not enjoy the gameplay, well, then you probably shouldn't go for it. That is one of the reasons why I like showing so much gameplay, but as usual, thank you very much for watching. Leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one.